From 27 News, WKOW, this is breaking news.
Stephen Price killed his wife and then attempted to cover it up.
Breaking new details in the house explosion in Madison. Police say a man killed his wife, left her body there for weeks, if not months, and intentionally blew up the home to cover it all up. Good evening, I'm Hunter Sines. Jennifer has the night off. Right now, police say the suspect, Stephen Pyrus, is in the Dane County Jail. Chief Mike Koval says officers arrested Pyrus last night. He's expected to face charges of first-degree intentional homicide, arson, and recklessly endangering safety. Chief Koval says Pyrus killed his wife, Leanne, and her body remained in the home on Stratton Way for weeks, if not months, before the explosion this past Wednesday. They're still looking into the specific motive behind the murder. David Johnson is following these breaking developments. He's live at the explosion site tonight. David?
Hunter, shocking new developments into the explosion that leveled this house behind me. And what initially started as an investigation into that explosion is now a criminal investigation. According to the medical examiner's office, Leanne Pyrus died from being shot, not from the explosion and fire. Police Chief Mike Koval says it's clear from their investigation as to what happened.
Stephen Price shot and killed Leanne. Secondly, Leanne had been deceased as a result of being shot by her husband for weeks, if not months. Okay? Third, Leanne was in the house when the house exploded. And fourth, Stephen intentionally blew up this house.
Koval didn't say where or how many times Leanne had been shot. He says part of their ongoing investigation is to look back at their relationship. As for the explosion, Fire Chief Stephen Davis says it's pretty safe to say natural gas was involved.
After an exhaustive search of the property at 7806 Stratton Way, Madison fire investigators, along with Madison Police and the investigative task force made up of all of our partners, recovered enough evidence to conclude that the explosion that occurred Wednesday afternoon was intentional.
Davis says the department performed tests looking for natural gas leaks and found nothing out of the ordinary. Stephen Pyrus is currently being held in the Dane County Jail, and he'll be there until he can go before a judge. Detectives say that they are working with the DA's office to develop criminal charges. Reporting live at Stratton Way, David Johnson, 27 News.
All right, thank you, David. The investigation into this explosion moved quickly. The home blew up on Wednesday. By Thursday night, people who lived near the site were allowed back into their homes. Investigators found Leanne Pyrus's body Friday morning, and by Saturday night, police had arrested Stephen Pyrus for her death. Since the explosion, South High Point Road has been shut down to traffic between Raymond Road and McKee Road in order to give investigators the space to work. The size of the investigation continues to shrink down, and our crew on scene says the road is now back open in both directions. 27 News has had you covered on this investigation since the beginning. We'll continue to bring you updates in our newscasts, online, and on our 27 News Now app.
Feeling much more like mid to late September today with temperatures that only topped off in the upper 60s and low 70s. A live look from the understory building overlooking the Capitol showing some late day sunshine rearing its head. So we are getting in on some brighter conditions, but it's only a temporary reprieve. More rainfall in the forecast. 68 degrees right now. Winds have shifted out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour, and that's why we're filtering in much cooler conditions than what we saw this time yesterday. In fact, temps are about 15 to 20 degrees cooler right now compared to what we saw this time on Saturday, with everyone, again, in the upper 60s, low 70s. The warm spots from Prairie du Chien into Boscobel, Mineral Point, Janesville, high at 72, 68 in Madtown, 69 in Baraboo at this hour. So temperatures that are, again, a little on the cooler side, definitely needing those sweaters today, unlike yesterday with the summery upper 80s. Next several hours is going to be a cool setup. I think we get down to the low 50s, upper 40s as we round out the night. So as we get the kids to the bus stop tomorrow, they, again, will need maybe a light jacket. But we are going to be tracking rain chances and another big warm-up, so it's a temporary reprieve with the cool stuff here. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Max. One man is dead after a crash in Dodge County this morning. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened on State Highway 60 and Jefferson Road around 11:10 in the town of Rubicon. The driver of a Toyota SUV hit a Chevy SUV while driving in the wrong lane on Highway 60. The driver of the Chevy died at the scene. The passenger in that car was taken by Flight for Life to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries. The driver of the Toyota was taken to Hartford Hospital with minor injuries. That investigation into the cause of the crash is ongoing. Madison police are investigating a shooting on the 2700 block of Anderson Street after getting several reports last night of shots fired. Police say they recovered 6 shell casings from 2 different kind of guns several hundred feet apart. No damage or injuries were reported. The U.S. Department of Justice stopped its review of the Milwaukee Police Department. That's because the federal agency is changing its program focused on improving trust between police and communities. The new program will focus on helping local law enforcement fight crime. A DOJ spokeswoman told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that cities like Milwaukee will be moved into the new version of the program. Governor Scott Walker will sign off on the incentive package for Foxconn tomorrow. The governor has a bill signing ceremony set for tomorrow afternoon at Gateway Technical College in Sturtevant near Racine. The bill provides a $3 billion in incentives for the Taiwanese tech giant to build a facility in southeast Wisconsin. Foxconn has promised to bring 13,000 jobs to Wisconsin. This Tuesday marks an exciting day for some people here in Wisconsin. 50 new Americans will take their oath of citizenship at the state capitol building. The new citizens represent a number of different cultures and ethnicities coming from 25 different countries. And a little history lesson for you today. On this day, 230 years ago, America's founders signed the United States Constitution. Paul Ryan commemorated Constitution Day by releasing a statement saying in part, quote, "The United States is the oldest democracy in the world, and its endurance is a testament to our Constitution. It has endured the test of time." Some lively and interesting conversations were held at several locations on UW-Madison campus today as Idea Fest entered its second day. Today, our own Greg Newman joined dozens of scholars and experts to moderate and discuss topics ranging from politics to philosophy. Greg moderated a discussion called The Age of Trump, which discussed partisanship and what's happening in America right now. Experts say it has to do with staunch loyalty.
It almost does not matter what the policies are, what the successes and failures are. There is this loyalty that hasn't changed.
The two-day event will finish up this evening. New at 5:30, hundreds jumping at the chance to ride anywhere between 10 to 100 miles, all for a good cause. We'll tell you where it was held and why the ride is so important. And another arrest in the London terrorist bombing that left 29 people hurt.